The president of El Salvador, Nayib Bukele, says he's unable to assist a man wrongly deported to his country from the United States. The White House is giving no indication that it plans to help return the man either, despite a court order. The Supreme Court has called on the Trump administration to facilitate the return of Kilmar Abrego Garcia to the US. He was sent to a notorious gang prison in El Salvador following his deportation from Maryland last month. During talks with Donald Trump on Monday, President Bukele said he was not inclined to help return Abrego Garcia or to release him from prison in El Salvador.
The question is preposterous. How can I smuggle a terrorist into the United States? I don't have the power to return him to the United States. I mean, we're not very fond of releasing terrorists into our country. I mean, we just turned the murder capital of the world into the safest country of the Western Hemisphere, and you want us to go back into the releasing criminals so we can go back to being the murder capital of the world? No, that's not going to happen.
Let's get more from our correspondent, Benjamin Alvarez-Gruber in Washington. Welcome, Ben. So tell us more about Kilmar Abrego Garcia's situation.
So the Salvadorian was a legal Maryland resident, father of three. He was wrongfully deported to El Salvador, and the government acknowledged this in court, that the 29-year-old was actually also granted legal status by an immigration judge, determining that he faced potential gang violence back in his home country. And last week, the Supreme Court ruled 9-0 that the Trump administration must comply with a lower court's decision to bring Kilmar Abrego Garcia back to the United States. But the Department of Justice on Sunday, and that's also what we heard in the Oval Office today, says that the United States lacks jurisdictions to compel El Salvador to release him. They said that this authority only lies exclusively with President Nayib Bukele regarding the international affairs. But Bukele, who we can see there being greeted by President Trump, said that it's up to the US if they want to return Abrego Garcia or not.
OK, so this sounds like the Trump administration just being obstructive. Why isn't it following the Supreme Court's order?
That's a good question, and the rather bigger question is now what tools the Supreme Court actually has now that the administration is openly defying this order. And this goes beyond the case of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, because without offering evidence, in many cases, Washington is accusing people that it's deporting to El Salvador of being members of Tren de Aragua or MS-13, so being gang members. And President Trump has even made no secret of his interest, or that he would even be open to deport U.S. citizens to this mega prison that is called Secot. And today he even asked Attorney General Pam Bondi, who was also there in the Oval Office, to analyze these options. And that's something, of course, that experts agree that it would be illegal not only under US but also under international law. And there was a live stream that was offered by the presidency of El Salvador where Trump was heard telling Bukele that the homegrown, so those who are American prisoners, will be next. So this sets a very dangerous precedent.
Wow. So the Salvadorian president also told Donald Trump he's eager to help on immigration. What's he offering?
He's offering his jails for money. This terrorism confinement center that's called Secot, it has a capacity for 50,000 people. And let's just put some context here. During the first 5-year term as El Salvador's president, his government managed to report a dramatic drop in crime. But it's the same approach against criminal gangs that also leads to thousands of people in the country being detained without being convicted of crimes. Human Rights Watch says that Bukele's administration has detained around 85,000 individuals, yet only 1,000 have been convicted of crimes, raising concerns over wrongful imprisonment. And Human Rights Watch is now therefore accusing both governments of El Salvador and also of the United States of subjecting more than 200 Venezuelan nationals to what they call this enforced disappearances and arbitrary detention.
OK, thanks for that, Ben. DW correspondent Benjamin Alvarez-Gruber in Washington.